The Hobie Mirage Lynx is an amazing standing platform as far as kayaks that are available on the market. To make it even easier to stand in, to get up and down from your seat in, or to board and deboard, Hobie offers H-Bar standing support. It's a really simple install with just 4 screws and some basic tools needed. So follow along with this installation and see how you can add H-Bar standing support to your Lynx. The Lynx's H-Bar requires a simple assembly before you install it to the kayak. So you've got a left assembly and the articulating arm. This will be the aft or the rear leg. So that's left side. And I'm just going to assemble the center tube to each side one at a time. So I like to push that in, and then to seat it all the way, I'm going to push it against the ground and just make sure that that's seated properly. And you'll see that the holes in the tube, the aluminum piece, those holes align with the holes in the corner fitting. And then I'm going to take the right side assembly, push it on. I'm going to actually do the same thing. And this is sort of an important step. This 10/32 hardware, you're going to insert these from the back orientation of the H-Bar and through so that the rounded head of the screw is facing the user. So just go ahead and push those right on through. And this low profile nylock nut, I'm going to thread that on just finger tight to hold the assembly together, and repeat the same process on the other side. And then I'm just going to take a Phillips head screwdriver and a 3/8 wrench, and I'm going to tighten the assembly all the way down. And it's important that the threads of the screw engage with the nylon insert on the nut. That'll prevent any vibration and loosening up over time. So I'm going to add the foot mounts to the kayak and then adapt the H-Bar. The forward foot mounts, it's a straight vertical tab on those. And these inserts in the kayak line up just perfectly with the holes on the H-Bar. So we're going to go there. And you're going to use a Corse Thread sheet metal screw and go right into the plastic. And I advise doing this step with a manual screwdriver. And really, anytime you're installing a sheet metal screw into these inserts, it's a good idea to hand tighten it with a manual screwdriver. And as you're going into these inserts with the screwdriver, you're actually cutting your own threads into the insert. So it creates a really nice, secure installation. I'm going to finish that up in just a second. I'm going to get this back hole started here. And you don't need to over tighten it, you just need to get it snug. No sealant is needed. Move back and get this back one started. So now that we're snugged up with the foot mounts on the front here, we can attach the H-Bar actually. And I like to wrap the pin around the back side of the, or around the outboard side of the foot mount, just to keep it out of the cockpit. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one, wrap it around the outside and then insert the pin. Now we're ready to move on to installing the rear H-Bar feet into the gear tracks that are molded into the kayak. So you're just going to push this flathead screw through. I'm going to get my track nut threaded onto the screw, just a couple turns to hold it in place. And then it's really simple, just insert the track nuts into the track and slide them into position. So I'm going to go just loosely into each track so the assemblies are there. Hinge the H-Bar back, and I'm going to Go to each side and insert the quick pin, again from the outboard side so that it stays out of the cockpit in my standing area. The nice thing about this kayak is that it's kind of built similar to a SUP platform intended to stand on. And so it's really stable and a really fun sight fishing platform. First thing I'm gonna do is get into the kayak and make sure that the center bar is hitting my waistline. So I wanna just stand up here, and this is actually a little bit lower than I would like it. I'm gonna see how sliding the feet all the way to the front of the track works. And it's still a little bit low, so I think I'm gonna adjust the length of these rear legs out just to be a little bit longer. To access the length adjustment on the H-bar leg, you're gonna take that piece all the way out. You wanna do that on both sides so that you can slide. And I'm gonna bring it up to the 3rd notch. And you'll be able to see when it aligns with the holes. So I'm on the 3rd hole up from the shortest setting. I think that might take care of it. I'm gonna get back into the kayak, and this is actually just about perfect. I want as much room in the standing area as possible. So I'm gonna scoot these foot mounts almost all the way forward. And this buys me a little bit of extra space. Now that I've figured out the ideal placement for my H-bar and the ideal height setting, I've got plenty of space on the back screw, so I'm gonna tighten that all the way down. I'm gonna need to take the pin out to access that forward screw with the screwdriver. And I made these pretty dang tight just so they're not gonna wanna move. Pins go back in, and I'm gonna have one last check just to make sure it's just how I want it. So yeah, this is hitting me just right about at the belt. I can get up and down from the seat really easily, and I can lean against this and take my eyes to the horizon and not have to worry about balancing so much. If you've installed the long H-rails on your Lynx, you can use the same track assembly for mounting the rear feet of the H-bar. You just will adapt it to the actual H-rail and the aluminum extruded track that's part of that. You can opt for, if you want a quicker release and installation option, Parts and Accessories has these H-rail tabs available that will act as a mounting foot. I like these because they're really secure and they're easy to get on and off. You'll want to orient the tab on the cockpit side of the kayak. So you slip it around the rail, snap that knob into place, and then close the gate, and it's really secure. You can then just bring the H-bar back and mount right to that. And then you've got a toolless installation and removal option right there on the H-rail. Thanks for watching, and for other installations related to the Lynx, check out the rigging series on the Mirage Lynx on Hobie's YouTube channel. For more information on the Lynx kayak or accessories available, go check out Hobie.com.